What's up, guys? How are you doing? And today we are ranking the specializations in the finals. To start with, let's get with the light build. Light build is basically focused on high mobility and flanking. And first off, we got the cloaking device. Cloaking device is very good, very useful for flanking and getting up close to the enemy to actually use your melees, which is what its primary focus is about when it comes to flanking and high mobility. I think that melees are very solid when it comes to using the light class. You could also use the M11. There's a lot of choices, but I think that melee is actually pretty good for the amount of speed that they actually have. Being able to sneak up on the opponent is always good. I think I'll put that in A. Um, Cloaking device in A. And yeah, next up we have the evasive dash. Evasive dash is not too bad either. It comes pretty clutch when you're actually using the melees or just trying to get away with the cash box, being able to get a little bit of a lead, being able to run away from a death, being on low HP and being able to dash away is actually pretty nice. But I think that the light build, when it comes to evasive dash, he actually does a lot better with the melee, as in the sword. Mainly the sword, the dagger doesn't really have a lot of reach, and with the right click of the sword, you can actually do a lot of combos with melee in that. When I say melee in, I mean clicking F on your keyboard or whatever you have it as for melee, and compiling that and actually getting a one shot on another light operator. It's good, but it's not that good. I think I'm gonna put it on A. Next up, we have the grappling hook. Grappling hook is pretty solid, being able to get to higher heights on demand. It has a short little cooldown, but that's not too much. I think that the grapple hook actually suffers when it comes to having maps where there is actually jump pads every single way that are built into the map. So it actually sometimes become null and void. You can actually use it for just getting mobility on flat surfaces and just trying to escape. It's actually pretty good for that. But at the end of it, being able to traverse the map, I think that there's a bunch of jump pads around the map that are built into the map, and your team probably has jump pads which are sometimes more effective than actually grapple hook. So it actually becomes not really something that you use as much, and being something that is just that you use sometimes. So we're gonna put it at B. So the grapple hook, we're gonna put it at B. Next up, we have the medium build, and it basically emphasizes on play style, just playing with the team, just being together and helping each other. That's what basically the medium class is. We could even call it the medic class. And to start with, we have the guardian turret. Guardian turret is pretty good, does a little bit of damage. You can stick it anywhere. It doesn't really stay floating before in the old builds when you actually break the floor or whatever, it's on, it would stay floating, but now it's actually fixed. So that little OP part about it is actually gone. The turret actually does a lot of work and people don't really give it credit for. It damages the enemy and kind of helps you with your kill and may soften up the enemy also. It also alerts you whenever an enemy is actually coming close, so it's actually comes clutch for you just having it up and not just waiting for when the enemy is there and you can see them to put it up. It actually is pretty good to just have down every time you're on an objective or just around you while you play around this particular area. So we're gonna be putting it in B. So the guardian turret will be in B. When it comes to the healing beam, it's actually pretty nice, pretty solid. I think it's a game changer when it comes to healing up the heavy. And if you focus on healing up the heavy, you can actually do a lot of damage, or should I say the heavy, do a lot of damage while you're actually just feeding him some heals, kind of like Mercy from Overwatch. I think the healing beam should actually be at 8 here, mainly because you can actually feed heals to a heavy and actually make them kind of like so tanky that they'll have to focus you instead. But I feel that sometimes also the healing beam sometimes just makes you a sitting duck because you have to focus your healing on the heavy, and if the heavy can complete the task, you actually end up dead majority of the time if they just focus you. And next we have recon sense, probably the most OP thing in the game right now, is destroying the game. They had to nerf it out, and the nerf still wasn't really anything, to be honest. Maybe they made the charge up time be a little bit extra, but it's the same OP thing where you can see through walls from all across the map. Everybody's actually petitioning for it to actually be removed from the game, or at least nerfed real hard, where it's kind of doesn't make sense because in Bankit, literally everyone can just wait for you and does know exactly that you're coming to cash out and actually just wait and camp it out. When you reach, just kill you. They can literally see you. I mean, you can always see if everybody's use it, just use it too. But sometimes you don't want to have that type of playstyle. Warlocks are always OP anyways, so it's probably the first choice for anybody. That's why hacks were made. But Reconsense is S tier. Reconsense is S tier. Next up, we have charge and slam. Majority of the time, you'll be charging through buildings and breaking them out, breaking them down. The heavy specialization basically focused on objective and environment manipulation. You can actually use this charge from a high height, jumping down for slam, kind of like a Hulk smash. You could also use it just to get to the cash box, if in case it's on another side of a wall. It's actually pretty good being able to. There was actually a bug that made you be able to actually, while you're still in objective, you could actually press it and you would stay in one position. But if someone were to touch you or melee you, they would just die. They would just take damage, and that was actually pretty OP. I think they actually fixed it. I think they fixed it, and the turn speed is actually incredible on it. So you can actually spin around and actually go backwards, basically like turn a 360 and hit the enemy if you miss them, which is actually really, really OP. But it's actually a B tier, to be honest. That's all it can do, and it doesn't really provide like a next level of support. Next up, we have the Gugon. The Gugon, probably one of the least utilized weapon, or well, you can use it as a weapon, but it's one of the most underdog type of specialization. You can do a lot of plays with it, but you actually have to spend the time practicing, and there's a lot of practice with it. I think that when it comes to like gooing up the areas, I think that it's almost useless when it comes to that. You're better off using the goo grenades. They actually do a better job. Gooing up doesn't make sense unless you just want to use the goo to maybe make little areas where you could climb up and stuff, maybe block a little vent, but it doesn't really do a lot, to be honest. So I think I had put it at D. And although you can do a lot of plays, burning it up and creating hell for the enemy, I still think that even if it can even stick the enemy and kind of keep them in place for you to push up on them as a heavy and maybe swing your hammer at them, it still feels like it could use a little bit more work when it comes to that. And it actually sticks you a lot. You using it, it actually sticks you a lot, and it's kind of annoying at times, and I just have to just put it away. So I still believe that it's not the best, so I still will put it in D tier, and until they fix that the amount, the thickness of it, then it's kind of too small. Um, I'm not too sure how they could fix it, but I just feel that it's not doing much of a job when it comes to the play styles with the heavy. So the mesh shield is pretty good, pretty much an A tier. Being able to push the enemy while your teammates are behind you and being able to shoot through it and get kills, and being able to even cash out, block the cash out while stealing the cash out. You can actually just put it up and get your teammate steal the cash out. It's actually pretty nice. I pretty much call it an A tier. It's not S tier because it has like 1,000 health right now. It got nerfed, but I think it's gonna be a very valuable asset to the team, being able to have the mesh shield. um yeah, it's that's actually it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't.